Now, bringing you the very best in New Hampshire-based local music on IPMNation.com and 100.1 The Planet, this is Local Outbreak. These guys are coming in. I'm going to play the new single, "No Longer Myself," from the band House Lights. And I did see Sam Beechard in the hallway.
Holding on is hard to do when all these thoughts fall through your fingers. The words linger on your tongue. See through eyes blind from staring into the sun. Can you turn on the light? Connect the fuses. Miskin feeling so tight, covered in bruises. Take my hand, raise your hand, gripping on so tight. Who are you? Let me go. Familiar turns to fright. Memory, ever repeating. Rest your level below. Death of me. The silence will be a relief. Every day is a new day, is the same day as yesterday. Am I crazy? Am I going insane? Take my hand, raise your hand, gripping on so tight. Who are you? Let me go. Familiar turns to fright. Memory, ever repeating. Rest your level below. Death of me. The silence will be a relief. Red one day, the absence of clarity will fade. For the pieces of this puzzle fit back into place. You will see the purest version of me. The love in the eyes, so lovely gone. A picture of moments and memories. Memory, ever repeating. Rest your level below. Death of me. The silence will be a relief. Every day is the same day as yesterday. Death of me. Is the same day as yesterday.
We've got some musicians in the house. So at the news desk, Sam Beechard returns. Hello, Sam.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And I will let you introduce the new gentleman who I'm just meeting for the first time today.
All right. Well, yeah, this is Matt. He is the guitarist for House Lights and writes pretty much all the music.
Well, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing you guys play. And you guys have worked together for how long? Is this?
We met in college at Hesser College in Manchester way back in 2008.
Yep.
Probably.
So almost
and
15 years now.
Yeah. So we've been making music off and on ever since. Several hiatuses throughout. Life gets in the way, but we keep coming back to each other. We work really well together, and this is some of the best music that I feel like we've ever made together for sure. So
yeah, and I love the new single. We just gave that a spin there. That "No Longer Myself." That's great. And that just came out Friday, correct?
Yep.
Excellent. Well, you guys are gonna play something for us. What are you gonna play?
Yeah, we're going to play a song called Speak in Tongues. It's the second single off our album. It's coming out September 1st, called What It Means to Feel. In this song, just to give you kind of a synopsis on what it means. It's kind of a song about being really having difficulty being able to communicate, whether it be in a relationship that you have with anyone, a personal relationship, a work relationship, whatever it may be, trying to get the right words out and you just can't do it. So I think, I can certainly relate with that. I communicate best through music, so that's why I wrote this song.
All right, very cool. Well, whenever you guys are ready, I'm looking forward to this a lot. We have House Lights here with us live in studio.
Cool.
Talk to you today before the words escape. Where do I start? Straight from my heart, thoughts fall apart. You're not understanding what's making you so angry. I'm messing up so badly. What'll it take to make you happy? You've gotta fight for something. There's no progress in pretending everything's just fine. Can't turn back time, there's no rewind. I took abuse today, could not articulate what I'm feeling inside this fragile mind I'm trying to hide. What am I not understanding? What's making me so angry? I'm messing up so badly. What'll it take to make me happy? We've gotta fight for something. There's no progress in pretending everything's just fine. Can't turn back time, there's no rewind. We can't outrun our feelings, have to face them to find healing. If we draw the line, we may just find we'll be alright. Alone I'll wait for you, knowing nothing can be perfect, or if it's even worth it, but I'll try it anyway. Can I still make you nervous? I can only dream of metamorphosis, hope for a chrysalis surface, breaking through the other side. How could I be so stupid? I lost you, chipping away at my old habits today. Thought I needed help on the way, I led us astray. Chipping away at my old habits today. Thought I needed help on the way, but now I'm okay. We're here to stay. You never understand me. Is that why we're so angry? I'm messing up so badly. This time I can make you happy. We've gotta fight for something. There's no progress in pretending everything's just fine. Can't turn back time, there's no rewind. We can't outrun our feelings, have to face them to find healing. If we draw the line, we may just find we'll be alright. Is it on us not to speak in tongues? You're holding your breath, say enough is enough. Yeah, I'm holding your breath.
We've got the guys from House Lights here with us in studio if you're just joining us. And that is called Speak in Tongues?
Yep.
That was the second single?
Second single, yep, off the new album.
Very good, very good.
Thank you.
Yeah, so the album comes out, is it September 1st?
Yep.
Is that very good?
Yep,
very
just
good.
in time for Labor Day. You can spend your weekend jamming it wherever you're traveling. So
How many tracks?
11.
11. Very good.
And we actually had 14 that we could have recorded, and we have some potential material for the future, but a few that just didn't quite make the cut.
Oh, okay. What goes into that? What goes into that decision?
It really depends on a couple different things. So first we want to pick obviously the ones that we think are strongest, and then you kind of look at like the flow of the album and what you think is going to make sense.
Yeah.
Because we'll try to blend a mix of different genres. We'll have songs that are more like pop punk, and then we'll have ones that are more metal, almost hardcore. So it's finding the right balance between everything.
Yeah.
You don't want to skew too much to one side. At least we don't want to. We want to like kind of show all the different influences that we've had throughout our lives.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys have performed music together for a long time, right?
Yeah.
So did you have other actual bands before House Lights, or?
Yeah, we were in our first band was called Horns Become Halos.
Yeah. I remember, Sam, I remember you mentioning that name before, and I was like, oh, that's a cool name.
Yeah. And then after that, that band kind of turned into House Lights over time. We had released, House Lights has released an EP. It's already on streaming called Stages. We released that back in 2014. And that was kind of like a concept album on how to deal with grief, like kind of the 5 stages of grief or death, if you've heard of that before. So, that was a kind of a new thing for us doing a concept album. This isn't a concept album so much, but kind of all the songs are linked in the sense that they're all kind of an exploration and kind of like human emotion. I'm sure like Sam can talk more to that.
Right. Yeah. I mean, like, well, when we talked back in April when I was in here with promoting Always Forward and stuff, it's like this album, not necessarily a concept album, but it's all, the lyrics are all related to personal experiences that I've have every day.
Yeah.
That I have memories of, that I've gone through. So it's kind of a concept album for my my inner psyche, I guess you could say. Just me processing all the different things going on in life, and trying to find a way to, kind of, put a spin on them, hopeful spin, or just, come to terms with things and try to move on in any way that I can. And like Matt said, I mean, music is one of the ways that we know how to communicate best. And music is a universal language. I love that music can mean different things to different people.
Yeah.
You can listen to, 20 people listen to a song and every one of them can find a different meaning. And that's amazing to me. So very, very happy that we could get to do that every day.
And Matt, you write the music? Is that?
Yeah, I write the majority of the music. So I'll generally start with guitar, and the way I kind of do it, honestly, sometimes I'll just I'll go to my computer, I'll open up Logic, and I'll plug in my guitar, and I'll start recording and then play. So I won't even like jam first. I'll just start practicing, see what comes out, and if anything sticks, I've already got a demo track at least recorded, and then I can do it a little bit better. And tweak it and touch it up to how I want it to sound. And I think like especially Sam and I work so well because I think the music as I write it, a full song, I may have like kind of a sadder, sounding verse or maybe uplifting chorus, but towards the end of our bridges, we kind of have like there's a conclusion sound to it, kind of like a finite like kind of purpose. And I think Sam writes really good lyrics that kind of complements that.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Now, have you guys played? Do you guys ever play out acoustic, just the two of you, like you did here today, or was that a first?
Really, yeah, that was pretty much the first time.
Oh, no kidding! Oh, that's cool.
No, we again, we used to play around in Horns Become Halos. I think 2011 was our last show.
Yeah,
and neither of us have played live.
It's been a bit.
Not original music. I've done a couple little things here and there.
Yeah,
but nothing for House Lights yet.
Okay.
So
okay,
we've been working on getting the full band together. We finally have a second guitarist, so we've been charging ahead. Practicing, learning the songs, trying to find a space to practice.
Oh yeah,
so that's always tough.
Yeah.
But we're on the lookout for a practice space so we can all get together and hopefully my original target was maybe end of the fall we'd be ready. So we'll see. We'll still try to hit that goal. But definitely be ready. As soon as we're ready, we'll be getting shows going. So
yeah. No doubt.
Totally like a non-conventional way to kind of build a band or start something where I just recorded a bunch of songs first, then we did the vocals, and then we said, hey, let's just actually record these. Let's get them mixed. We found this great mixer on the Sound Better website, which is a website you can go to find like mixers, producers, etc. He's out of Argentina, which was awesome. So we got to work with someone really cool. They mixed and mastered the album for us. And then, now we're obviously trying to put together a live show. Because there's nothing like playing live. It's such a thrill. I love it.
Yeah. When you guys were in the other band, Horns Become Halos, did you play out a lot? Did you do a lot of shows?
We play a decent amount. Yeah, we play like and a lot of these places don't exist anymore, which is kind of sad. But the Sad Cafe, Rocco's, Ground Zero, played all those places. A couple other places too.
Did any of that material make it into this band, or is this all new?
So funny you ask us. So one of the reasons why Horns Become Halos ended is we had an opportunity. Maybe 2010, 2009, 2010, somewhere around there. We had an opportunity to go record with a studio in Florida. A person that was previously in a pretty well-known band that left to start their own studio gave us an opportunity. I'm not going to say names because I don't want any bad blood or anything like that.
Sure.
It was a confluence of us being young and hungry and not really understanding how things work. And not having our own stuff together because we were in no way ready.
Okay.
But so we went down to Florida for a couple weeks. Tried to record an album, had some studio arguments,
Really?
There was a lot of stuff we hadn't figured out.
Yeah.
We were a young band. I mean, most of us were 21, 19, but Bobby and Adam are a little bit younger than we are. So we didn't really know what we were doing.
Yeah.
And each of us had an idea of how we thought it should go.
Yeah.
And we didn't iron it out until we got to the studio, and then the result is we had a failed album essentially. We
ended up with a bunch of like half mixed songs, and a
no.
ton of them weren't finished. More than half of that album, we recorded a whole album down there, but less than half of it we released, because we just weren't happy with the end product.
Yeah.
But we learned a lot from it too. So that's why we kind of, decided to start doing things ourselves. And, I kind of trained myself to be proficient in, recording everything myself and mixing a little bit, at least to the point where, I get the point across, and then we send it to a professional.
Yeah.
So we ended up taking 3 songs from our previous stuff. One of them was more around when we first started House Lights, but there's 2 songs that were supposed to be on that Horns Become Halos album, the second one, that we have pulled for this one, and there's definitely more tracks that we're going to go back and revisit. And, maybe revamp them a little bit, modernize them a little bit more, but hopefully for whatever's next, there's definitely more material to come from that project. So,
is any of the Horns Become Halos stuff online, or is that all?
It's not on any streaming services. We were just talking about that the other day. Should we release it? Because looking back at your old stuff, sometimes you cringe a little bit. But there's definitely some good stuff there. So we might release it, and just probably release it under the House Lights name,
I mean,
okay.
You can find it now if you search Horns Become Halos on YouTube.
No kidding.
Yeah. There's at least most of that first album.
There's stuff out there,
which was a much more kind of alternative rock sound.
Oh, okay.
A little bit more experimental. Not as polished by any means.
Yeah.
And you'll hear me do some screaming on that. That's the first time I ever jumped into screaming.
Oh, no kidding.
So it's cool to go back and see, to see how far you've come and where you've been. And in the moment, we definitely had different ideas of what the music was.
Yeah.
But looking back at it, I used to be pretty embarrassed because my expectation for what I wanted to be was not what we were achieving. But looking back at that stuff, it's pretty solid. Like, some of it still holds up for me.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely no longer like, oh yeah, don't listen to that. Like, push it off in the corner. Like, I'm like, no,
Right.
this is what we did. Like,
Yeah.
I'm proud of a lot of that music that we made. So.
Yeah. How did that opportunity come up where you went to Florida to record with?
We had released a full-length album with someone local here at Project 2 Studios.
Okay.
This guy Connor who we've been friends with for forever. He mixed and mastered that album for us, and then we were looking to do a second album, and we got an opportunity to work with a guitarist from a band that we all kind of liked. Unfortunately, things just didn't really work out well. You live and you learn.
Yeah. Now, what about the other guys who were in the band with you at that time? Are they...
2 of them are still with us. So we've got Adam. Adam's the drummer, and he is amazing. He's a professional drummer. He's practically every night he's off doing a different gig for. He's playing at Wally's. I think he played at what, like
Yeah,
Fenway
he
the other day?
played at Wally's. He's played at Fenway. He played at House of Blues with Annie Brobst. Some people might have seen him. So he drums for
Oh,
her
wow.
live.
Oh,
yeah,
good.
He's got a lot of other acts that he plays out with down in the Massachusetts area.
Yeah.
He started to branch up to New Hampshire a bit more, which is good. And he's got like 5 or 6 different projects that he is either in or plays out with or does studio work with.
Yeah.
So he's pretty incredible.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And then we've got Bobby, who was the guitarist back in Horns Become Halos, and he now does all the harsh screaming vocals in these new songs.
Okay.
He's
Okay.
also in his own project called Hotel Graffiti. Shout out. Those guys are awesome.
Absolutely.
That's a cool name.
Yeah. And then we just added our new friend Josh Noonan, who is going to be our second guitarist.
Yeah.
So we're pretty stoked. He's been really jumping in, working very hard to learn the songs. So he had a lot of ideas, a lot of feedback for us.
Yeah.
So we're excited, man, to bring it all together.
Excellent. Excellent. Let's see. We've got a couple questions in the chat room. JFed, one of our friends from Vermont, says, have you ever thought about increasing the lengths of your beards? Yeah, you guys you guys have a little bit longer beards than me. I keep mine very trim.
Yeah.
I don't even like having facial hair, to be honest with you, but I look better with it. So you guys have a little more length than me, but you guys don't have the, like bearding
Right, yeah.
is a big thing now where you got the people with the big beards. You guys ever think about having big beards?
I mean, this is about as big as I usually let it get. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like to manage it, honestly.
Exactly.
And usually it just gets like this because of laziness, honestly.
Yeah, yeah.
A little bit of the same. So my wife hates my beard.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She-
I think it looks good for the record.
No, everyone else does. That's the thing, but she does not like it. No matter what people say, she's like, no beard.
Oh, that's
so,
funny.
Yeah, I have let it get longer than it is now before.
Yeah.
This is the longest I've had one for sure. It's been a little over a year.
Yeah.
But I'm actually like managing it now and taking care of it.
There you go.
So yeah, probably not much longer than this either.
Yeah, yeah,
He was a baby face before this.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Back when we were doing all the other stuff.
yeah. JFed also asks if you've ever considered, as a band, do you ever consider the potential benefits from cold bathing? That might have come up before.
Yeah.
The ice
Yeah,
bath.
see this last
He's the
time.
ice
Yeah,
bath
yeah.
guy. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Maybe we'll have to. It'll be a social media thing we can do. We'll all jump in an ice bath or
I
something.
can't say I've ever tried it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll set. That's what we'll do. That can be one of our milestone challenges. We'll come up with something, and if we hit a certain milestone,
Yeah.
we'll all jump in an ice
The
bath.
ice bucket challenge or whatever.
Yeah.
Some people swear by it. He says the health benefits are remarkable. It wouldn't be for me, the hypothermia and things like
Right,
that.
yeah.
Melanie La Liberty from the great state of Vermont says, I'm picking blackberries as I listen, and I want Matt to know I am sometimes waist high in shrubs and reaching into bushes up to my shoulder. Can you visualize the spiders and ticks lurking, Matt? Yes, I can, and that's horrifying. I don't go into the woods myself. I'm like the least outdoorsy human you'll ever meet. I wish I could just like teleport from one concrete structure to another. There's ticks, there's bugs, there's I guess
Dangerous
ticks
out
are bugs. Yeah. There's the Blair Witch. There's all kinds of things that can get
Bigfoot.
you. Yeah, Bigfoot. Yeah, I mean, probably not real, but who knows? And JFed is very excited that you're open to the ice bath, and he also says, the beer and coyotes. Yeah, coyotes.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're roaming around in a city. Very, very scary. Now what's going on with Sam with Always Forward? Do you have some? I know you've got the Swarmy Fest. You're involved in that,
No,
right?
so-
You're not involved in this one?
Yeah. So they're for a brief moment. They were we were in conversation. But
Yeah.
They have they got things handled.
Okay.
So they're all set there.
Oh.
I don't want to take too much from House Lights. But
yeah.
just real quick. Yeah. So Always Forward. I'll be kind of transitioning with how I utilize my business. I have signed on with Don't Blink Music Group as an assistant booking agent.
Really?
Which is very exciting for me. I've been talking with one of the owners, Colin, for quite a while. And he and I align very closely on our style around booking shows and promoting and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And this is kind of really, they are doing a lot of things that I want to, was looking to grow Always Forward into.
Oh, cool.
So I've got a really good opportunity to kind of do that, eliminate a lot of the red tape and the uphill battle.
Good for you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited to be able to get the experience, and learn from people that have been doing it for a while, because it's tough.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, coming into it cold and trying to figure things out on the fly. It was a great experience. I'm very thankful for the connections I've made, and they're going to continue. Any bands that work with Always Forward, you'll have an opportunity to work with Don't Blink as well.
Excellent.
And
does that mean, is that the end of Always Forward?
Nope. So I'm just going to be transitioning into a different avenue, whether it be more of marketing promotions, more of networking as a resource for bands to utilize. Still working on figuring that part out. But, definitely not the end of Always Forward.
Excellent.
Always Forward is me. It's my mentality. It's how, it's my brand of how I work and try to promote bands and grow the scene. We're just getting started.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, let's do this. I'd like to play, let's play the first single.
Love and Understanding.
Love and Understanding. I'd love to give this a listen, and then we'll come back and chat some more. But for people who haven't heard it, when did this come out? This was
July. Is it July?
Yeah, late July.
Somewhere around there.
Right, because I think when you were on the show the first time, this hadn't come out yet, and I think this was the first place it was heard publicly. But yeah, this is a great song, and sometimes I'll just play it. All right, let's give this a listen, and then we'll come back and talk some more with these guys. This is Love and Understanding. This was the first single from the band House Lights. Check this out.
I know I'm
But we have joining us here today in studio the members of the band House Lights. We've got Sam at the news desk, and Matt with one T is on the couch.
Yep.
The reason that's so interesting to me is when I was a kid, people would always ask me, because my name's Matt, obviously, and they would say, is that with one T or two? And I would always say two, and I'd be thinking, I wouldn't say it out loud because I'm unfailingly polite, but I would be thinking, who spells it with one T?
Yep.
You never see it with
Met
one T. And then I think it was maybe 10 years ago, I started seeing examples of Matt with one T. I never saw that when I was a kid, but it started to become a thing.
Yeah, well, and I guess the reason I'm named Matthew with one T is my mom wanted people to call me Matthew.
Yeah.
I guess that was her reasoning. And I guess I'm named after Matthew on Anne of Green Gables, which
Okay.
I've never even seen it, but
Yeah.
I'm named after that person.
Oh.
So the idea was, call me Matthew, not Matt. Obviously, as time goes on, and people always call you Matt, usually if your name's Matthew. So, my family generally calls me Matthew, but everyone else calls me Matt.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so I assume Matthew is with one T.
Yes.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Because it's funny too, because even when I was a kid, I would see Matthew with one T sometimes, but then it would always be Matt would
Yeah.
always be with two T's.
Totally, yeah.
These guys played an acoustic song earlier for us, and we just listened to "Love and Understanding," which is the first single from House Lights from the upcoming album September 1st. It's out,
Yep,
right?
September 1st, What It Means to Feel.
Yes. Looking forward to that. We have a question in the chat room. Sonia Laramie says, is someone you know?
That's my wife.
Oh, well, your wife has a question, Matt. Love the sound. Which bands have influenced the sound of your upcoming album?
Oh, I wonder. I think she knows, but I'll tell everyone else.
Yeah.
So definitely. I mean, the first growing up. I mean, my mom had great musical taste, so she would listen to Alanis Morissette, Led Zeppelin, all these sort of classic rock bands and everything. Stevie Nicks, great singers, great music. So that was kind of the first music I listened to. And then the first music that really inspired me to play guitar was Linkin Park, actually. When I remember I was 13 years old when I heard One Step Closer on the radio.
Yeah.
And that screaming part was shut up when I'm talking to you. Obviously, the angsty 13-year-old in me was yeah, that's cool.
Right.
I want to make music like that and express myself that way. So yeah, Linkin Park, a lot of new metal, and then pop punks Blink 182, Deftones, brand new from the kind of the emo scene style. So all those sorts of bands that you would kind of hear on anyone that would play Warped Tour, basically. It was my style of music that I listened to.
Yeah. What about you, Sam?
I mean, and again, that's why the reason we work so well together is Matt and I do have a lot of the same musical influences. Definitely Alexis on Fire has been a huge one for us.
Yeah.
They're one of those bands that melds a lot of, very harsh, aggressive sound, but also they can do the most beautiful, ballady, just, they got chimes and stuff in their music, and they can take it right down and just, bathe you in amazing sound. Just something so tender and gentle.
Yeah.
So they're a huge inspiration for me. Bands like Tool. I used to be in another metal band, so all the kind of bands back in the day, Avenged Sevenfold, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yellow Card is a huge one for me, one that I listen to quite a bit. Thursday again is another huge one for
That's
me.
where we got our name from. They have a live album called Kill the House Lights, and so that's where our name's from.
Oh, okay.
And there also coincidentally there is one of the songs on the album is also a title or the name of a Thursday album.
Oh, really? Yeah.
So
Yeah, Full Collapse is the last song on the album.
Oh, no
it's
kidding.
also our heaviest song too. So
Oh, okay.
yeah. So loosely inspired, just kind of coincidentally fell into place. But
Yeah.
definitely a big nod to Thursday. They're amazing. I got to see them for the first time last year. They've been playing music forever.
I was going to
And
say, yeah, they've been around a while.
they sounded amazing.
Yeah.
I was blown away. They sounded really good. So.
By the way, Miriam Banish in the chat room, she really likes that song, Love and Understanding. She said she enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Can you guys tell me a little bit about the production? I was commenting off air. The production is really good. It just what's your recording process like?
it's really The engineering all took place in my room. Basically, I have like what I call the music room or the office in my house, where I just open up my computer. I've got some studio monitors. I've got an audio interface. I just plug in. I record direct into Logic for my guitars. So I know a lot of people like recording like miking up an amp and getting like dialing a tone that way. But I love the flexibility of like just recording direct input, and then I can change the tone however I want later on. So that's what I did for this album. I'll write like placeholder drums because I'm not a drummer. I can, I know how drums should sound, but I know that's the reason why we have a great drummer is I'll just write something placeholder and then I'll send it off to him and be like, you do your thing on this. That may influence or change what I then do. So we do all the music first, and then after the main music is written, and I'll do the guitar and the bass, and then once I get the drums back, Sam and I will look at it and explore melodies and such. It's I'd say like 90% Sam, but when he comes over to record, we also did the vocals in my house for this. I'm just using a pretty standard mic, like a $100 microphone, and that's what I love about music these days too. Is like you can make something that sounds so good for so cheap.
Yeah, true.
And pretty much anyone can do it. He'll come over and we'll work on melodies. We'll explore different ideas and, record it down there. And like I said, we sent it off to this guy in Argentina that did a great job mixing it all together.
Yeah, we had talked last time, Sam, about that website. What is it called again?
Soundbetter.com.
Yeah. I hadn't even heard of it. And I thought, wow, what a great concept. Yeah, it's pretty amazing that that we live in an era where you can do do placeholder drums and then you send it to the drummer and then the drummer does that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really incredible. And then it's just it sounds really good. Is the whole album recorded with that same process? Or?
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and again, to like what Sam was saying earlier, we did a bunch of other songs too as well. So we've got stuff sitting in the pipeline that's ready to go because. I think that's one thing, we've definitely realized about the music industry is that most people aren't releasing full-length albums or like that's not how they're getting their start. Yeah. So it's a bit unorthodox. Obviously we've been releasing singles and that's kind of been helping. But we have stuff planned for after this too as well. So we're going to continue releasing music and, that's kind of how you slowly but steadily build a fan base. Oh, yeah. Yeah. We live in an era when you've got so many different options as far as how you want to do that. And, Chris H is in the chat room from the band Edgewise. He says, offending drummers daily. It's funny. You guys probably never imagined, how could you, that like when you were in the other band and you go to Florida with that horrible recording experience, it probably didn't occur to you, someday we'll just be able to do this ourselves. Right. Yeah, totally. Yeah. Well, and again, not fully doing it ourselves, but bringing in the right people. Well, yeah, and building a good enough foundation to get to that point. Because if you just have a bunch of sound, doesn't mean you're ready for an album. Right, right. That's the thing with Matt is that I've always tied into his music because he finds a way to. It's not just a guitar riff, or it's not just everything that he writes has a feeling behind it that resonates with me, very emotionally and. Like, I'll listen to 20 seconds of something he's played, and I'll immediately have melodies in my head. Oh, no kidding. I'll immediately have, like, an idea for the theme of the song, and, based off of that emotion. Yeah. I keep a good thing going. Yeah, yeah. And, Matt, can you tell me about that guitar? That guitar sounds really good. Yeah, it's a brand named Orangewood. They're online only. They're out of, like, Los Angeles. And, it's a mahogany wood. And it sounds great. I definitely took a chance on it because they only sell online, so I didn't have a chance to try one beforehand. Yeah. But it was highly reviewed. I watched some YouTube reviews of it and sounded great there, so figured I'd give it a shot. And I love it. Yeah, yeah, excellent. No, it sounds really good. And Sam, we had talked too last time you were here about vocals, and you were what was it you said you were? Learning how to do the yelling, the growling. Yeah, I was getting my screams back essentially. I had done sort of developed screaming on my own back in Horns Become Halos. Yeah. I ended up being kind of like the primary person doing that towards the end of our band when we were playing. But I hadn't done it
at all in the 12 years that 10-ish years that we had been broken up before we started working on the new project.
Yeah.
And this was an opportunity. So I started working with a clean vocal instructor last year.
Oh, right.
And then evolved into also working with a extreme vocal coach this year, because I want to be as versatile as I can. The more vocalists we can have is kind of my ideal band is 3 or 4 different singers would be great to have all the harmonies, to be able to do as much of the stuff live possible as we can.
Yeah.
Because obviously we do put a lot of production into the songs. We like a lot of harmonies and, kind of backing vocals.
Yeah.
But it's been cool to see that a lot of the stuff I've worked with my amazing extreme vocal coach, Kyle Farr. He's in the band Late Nine. Shout out. Dude's amazing. He just guest spotted for Motionless in White this past weekend. I got to see him in Guilford.
Oh, cool.
Dude, he was amazing. He killed it. But working with him, a lot of the stuff I've learned as far as like mouth and throat positioning and like the way that the muscles interact has also helped my clean vocals.
Really?
I feel like my falsetto and my high notes are way more crisp and easy to get to based on like, kind of breaking down what's going on in the vocal tract.
Yeah.
So they've both been amazing. Katie Gall is my clean vocal instructor. She's in Newmarket. Shout out to her as well. I wouldn't be where I am without both of them.
Wow.
I'm the best that I've ever been, and I'm only, trying to get better. So we're not messing around with this stuff. We're ready to go.
Yeah. So you continue to go to both vocal coaches?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. So I go to them regularly. To just keep me honest, keep me on my game. Trying new things. Hey, I heard this the other day. I mean, extreme vocals in particular right now are just, it's a quickly emerging landscape. There's a new thing called the chortle that has been invented,
Really?
in screaming, and there's a lot of different avenues and styles you can go down and sounds that can be made.
Yeah.
It's really, people are experimenting very heavily in it right now.
Yeah.
And it's really cool to see. So.
Did you ever, before you saw an extreme vocal coach, did you ever like hurt yourself doing that?
Didn't hurt myself. No. Maybe luckily that I didn't.
Yeah.
I heard the sounds, and one of the ways that I'd always learned, kind of taught myself how to sing was just by hearing other people's voices and trying to mimic those sounds. And that was my first experience. So, just kind of went for it. One day at band practice. It's funny. There's this band, this kind of like post-rock metal band called Giant that I cannot find their music. If you have any, Matt, you need to.
I'll see.
It's like there was a brief time when we first started practicing when we were younger that they were like, we would listen to them at practice and stuff.
I feel like I've heard of them.
They were one of the first bands that I emulated the screams to.
Yeah.
Because, kind of long, drawn out, that you could just one note at a time and you could really, get a sense of the feel.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how I learned and evolved when I was younger. And it was definitely a more kind of raw, mixed vocal sound where there was a little bit of my voice behind it, that I didn't even know what I was doing. So, one of the things I've worked on with Kyle is kind of walking that back, learning the fundamentals, but then rebuilding, bringing that voice back in to try to get, somewhat of that sound again.
Yeah.
So the voice can do amazing things.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild once you start breaking it down and you get to see how everything works together.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of how I came by it. I just started doing it.
Yeah, because I remember we talked too before about how one of the things that's really important if you're going to do that is just learning how to do it safely so you don't hurt yourself, because some people do.
We've seen so many great screamers lose the ability to do it over time. Chino from Deftones, has lost his voice and then went through re-vocal coaching and built it back up. So it's difficult to do properly, because it's not considered. I think there's kind of like a little bit of taboo to it, because it's not conventional. A lot of people don't do it. A lot of people don't know how to properly scream.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Now, the new album, so that's coming out September 1st, and then do you guys have any kind of a timetable, because you mentioned that you've already got more songs sort of ready to go? I mean, are you gonna Do you have a long-term plan as far as how it's how you space it out?
I think it's important to like find the right spacing where you don't want to, lose your audience and you want to, keep a steady momentum going.
Yeah.
So, I've kind of always looked at it as like, I think the speed at which we can produce music is pretty quick nowadays with all the technology and everything. And so I my goal would be to maybe release a single every month or so.
Yeah.
Even after the album comes out, I think it's easily doable. Whether that be, things we can experiment with too. One month it might be a cover, it might be an original song, something like that.
Yeah. Do you guys do any? Do you guys know any covers that you've played together? Or?
We haven't done anything officially. We actually just started working on potentially a cover that we might be releasing later on. I think we want to try to find like the right song to cover. It's whether that be something that is brand new, recent in a totally different genre that we want to put our spin, our style onto, or take something that's a much older song. From some like maybe Kiss or The Who or Aerosmith or something, some classic rock band and put a modern, spin on it too.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. Now what's the, so you guys don't have any shows coming up, right? Because you're still kind of putting the band together. But you said, Sam, I think you said like end of fall.
I would like to be playing shows by end of fall, and that's but that's a very loose timetable.
Yeah.
You know how hard it is to wrangle band members.
Oh, absolutely.
Get everybody together. So, we're going to be doing as much as we can to try to get ready in time for that. But we'll see if we get there.
We want to do it right too. We don't want to go out there and be a colossal failure. Like we want to make sure like we're really tight and we give the audience what they deserve.
Yeah, we're not looking to jump on and do any 12-minute sets and that's all we got.
Right.
Stretching out to 20 just talking.
Yeah.
We want to come ready with a good at least 25-30-minute set that we can play start to finish. That's going to give people the experience of the album. That's how it's intended to be heard and played. Obviously, there'll be some variation for live shows, but we want to be able to back up the production that we have and the quality of the music. So,
Adam Boss in the chat room.
Adam Bossy, that's our drummer.
Adam Bossy.
That's not our drummer.
We know him.
Oh, okay.
We go way back.
He says that you have always been one of the most talented musicians he's ever met.
I appreciate that.
Very nice.
I love you, Adam.
Although he did spell it with 2 T's, so maybe he means me.
No,
he definitely doesn't.
Can't win them all.
He definitely doesn't mean me. No, he means you. Yeah, no, very nice. So he's someone you've worked with, or you?
Yeah, he's a guitarist as well. I think
okay.
He might have briefly been in Horns Become Halos for a few moments.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we had a couple of lineup changes, but and we went to high school together. So.
Oh, very nice, very nice. Is he in a band currently?
I don't think so.
Okay, okay, very good. Now, where should before we run out of time, and I do want to, we'll end the show with I'm going to play "No Longer Myself" again, the newest single. But where should people go online? What should they know about to keep up with everything you guys are doing?
Yeah, there's a bunch of places. I mean, check us out on all the normal socials. So we've got a Facebook page, facebook.com/houselights. We got a TikTok account. We've got Instagram. Pretty much everything is at Houselights. We try to, cover our bases there and get that name.
Yeah.
But you can also go to our link tree, which is Linktree. It's tr.ee/houselights. And that links you to all of our other websites. We've got merch in too. We just got shirts made too. So if you want to help support the band, feel free to buy a shirt and buy a sticker too. And absolutely, that'll help us out a lot.
Oh, very cool.
We'll be streaming on all platforms. Spotify, Apple Music, Bandcamp, SoundCloud.
Yep.
Yeah.
Whatever, any other
you
ones.
name it. There's a million. There's some I have no idea what they are.
Talk to you today before the words escape. Where do I start? Straight from my heart, thoughts fall apart. You're not understanding what's making you so angry. I'm messing up so badly. What'll it take to make you happy? We've gotta fight for something. There's no progress in pretending. Everything's just fine, can't turn back time. There's no rewind. I took abuse today, could not articulate what I'm feeling inside this fragile mind I'm trying to hide. What am I not understanding? What's making me so angry? I need a flop so badly. What'll it take to make me happy? We gotta fight for something. There's no progress in pretending. Everything's just fine, can't turn back time. There's no rewind. We can't outrun our feelings, have to face them to find healing. If we draw the line, we may just find we'll be alright. Alone I wait for you, knowing nothing can be perfect, or if it's even worth it, but I'll try it anyway. Can I still make you nervous?